We're back again with Ln.Ep.9 Eycej, your weekly broadcasting show. Ln.Ep.9 Eycej is a platform for people of color in our community to come and promote their passion life, be it art, activism, local business, entrepreneurship, entertainment. Well, we have a lot of musicians coming through. But this space is open for you if you are based out of East LA, if you are a new musician trying to make it out there. Ln.Ep.9 Eycej at gmail.com. Email us. We'll send you an application for you to apply, and then we'll consider it and we'll send you a date. We have EYCEJ, and that's East Yard Communities for Environmental Justice. I am honored to have them, Mark Lopez and
Jessica Pedro.
Thanks for being here with us tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for having us. I think you said it exactly right, like passion. I think from the performers earlier, I was like, damn. I didn't expect all of that to come out, so we're really happy to be here tonight. A lot of the work we do is there's injustices that exist, so we have a lack of justice, so we need to go and make that happen, right? No one else is going to come make that happen for us, right?
Right.
That's what hashtag Reclaiming the LA River is all about. It's happening this Saturday. Folks are meeting up at Maywood Riverfront Park at 5 p.m. And biking out to a secret location. If you don't have a bike, you can meet up at Holidale Park at 5:30 p.m. and then we'll lead you walking over to this secret location where there's going to be a pop-up guerrilla youth art gallery. Right? So it's youth who have been documenting the river through photography, through poetry, through video. We're going to make it happen, right? Last year was the first year we did it, and this year we're doing it again. When people think of the LA River, they think the city of LA, they think the northern portion by Griffith Park, they think kayaking in the river, and that's not what we got down here. We still have exide contamination inside our river, right? Like that's what we're dealing with, and so it's really to highlight that despite that, that's still our river. That's still part of our community. We still engage with that river. It's not something that exists separate. It's part of our community, right? And so we wanted to make sure to lift that up and make sure that it's our community that's representing our community, right? These kids catching frogs in the river every day, you know, like and playing and learning and enjoying, right? We just need to make sure that that we get the investments that we need in the community, but also making sure that we don't get displaced in the process, right? That's folks, developers aren't necessarily looking at that lower portion of the LA River yet, I hope, right? But eventually, if the state starts investing in making the river nicer, all the way down to Linwood, right? Folks are potentially going to be kicked out. And so that's part of this too, is we have to make sure to claim the river for our communities, so that when we have those organizing moments where we need to raise the kind of leadership of our communities to understand what the planning process is like and to make sure that we're at the center of that planning process, there's already a culture that we've helped to nourish around the LA River.
I'm not sure for the people that don't know who EYCEJ is.
East Yard started in 2001. The reason we're called East Yard Communities is because there's the East LA Rail Yard, which is nicknamed the East Yard, so we're the communities around the East Yard, right? And a big part of it was the rail yard, so understanding that there's a lot of health issues related to the pollution from the rail yard. And then as folks in the neighborhood started to get more information, we realized this was part of a system. And that system stretches all the way down to the ports of LA and Long Beach. East Yard spread through East LA, Southeast LA, and Long Beach. And
I saw you and I heard you speak, and you were so passionate and so knowledgeable about all these issues. I was never made aware of by any source of information out there that is readily available to the average person, right?
Yeah.
Which is the scary part, that it's been a leap knowledge for certain people, and it's unfair because then the community is not aware of changes that will affect it for generations to come.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that's a big participate in these processes, and sometimes that's we have to go get the information so we can spread it to our communities, and sometimes we have to create the information. The information doesn't even exist, and I think that's something that Jessica helped take leadership with this past summer through the Marina Pando Social Justice Research Collaborative, right? I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so a lot of times that information is, I guess, it's elite information, I guess, and so as community residents, we try to find different outlets or different ways that we can find out answers to certain questions. So through the Marina Pando Social Justice Research Collaborative, which was in its second year this past summer, we get community residents, usually Eastern members who used to be part of the youth action group of Eastern who are not participating, we're claiming the LA River, but now they're in college, and because they're first generation students, they don't really know what research is. They don't feel as prepared for taking the next step after graduating. And so through this program, it's like a 9-week program, we get these participants to create their own research questions, and we have different questions that aren't being answered by the government. So where are the diesel pipelines located in Long Beach, and how can we identify them? Where can we get that information? Because of Exide and the contamination that is going on in our soil, what can we eat? I mean, there's a lot of people, especially Cosecha Colectiva members, who grow their own food through our decentralized community garden program, and we can't even assure them that it is edible anymore because of the potential lead contamination within not just the soil, but within the fruits and vegetables that they're growing. So one of the projects, is it edible, and what are the proper growing techniques to lessen our exposure to lead? So there's different projects asking different questions that aren't being answered. Hopefully through this project, and not just Reclaiming the LA River, but we get our members of different age groups involved in different ways and try to expose them either through art, photography, film, but then also research and reading and different things like that. Just give them correct.
And we're always saying no one's coming to save us, like we got to be the ones to fight our fights. So that's that part of it, right? ECR has spent a lot of years building community experts, so folks who can definitely speak from experience. And so we're taking that step to also build technical experts, right? To challenge what agencies are telling us, because we know we get lied to. We know when they're lying to us in these public meetings, but it's at the point when we have that research that we can officially challenge that at that same level. They can't dismiss us in the same way.
I imagine that's what makes you guys so powerful, because you can actually challenge and be like, come on, yes.
Big part, right? Like if we know more than the agencies know, if we know more than the elected officials know, then they have no option but to follow us, right? Because then we can envision the solutions before they've even thought of the problem. And that's where we're at.
Another thing that I have much respect for is that you really are in touch with the youngsters. You guys get them involved, get them active, get them knowledgeable, educated on the matters, and that's another of your advantages.
In the group overall, it's definitely an intergenerational group, right? So we do have young folks as early as middle school to folks who are, in their 70s in the organization, and all of that, is valued, right? A lot of the elders are bringing historical perspectives into it, and a lot of the younger folks bring a lot of energy into the movement, and they motivate each other. That's inspiring to us. You're showing us an example. So yeah, we're always there building intergenerationally. We're always building in family también. We build community. That's what we do. We tell folks the campaign, that's a vehicle for building community and building leadership. A program, that's a vehicle for building leadership and building community, right? The idea is that if the organization ceases to exist, we all still live in the neighborhood. We will all still have those leadership abilities, and we will all be connected to each other because we built relationships with each other, which means we're accountable to each other, with or without an organization, right?
One of our goals with the Social Justice Research Collaborative was to create an institution that was not an institution, I suppose. I guess it was separate from academia.
What other projects does ECR have coming up aside from the Reclaiming LA?
Well, I guess something to definitely announce to folks is so we're ECR turned 15 years this year, 2001 to now is 15 years. So so that's big, right? And I think we continue to grow and continue to become stronger. We're actually gonna have a celebration next Saturday, the 15th. We're having our quinceañera. So it's our 15th on the 15th, and it's $15. And it's going to be down in Hamburger Mary's down in Long Beach. Aside from getting down in public hearings and in our community building, we also like to have fun too. So come get down with it.
You've been around for longer than some of your members have been alive at this point.
hey, for real. I never thought about it that way. There's folks who that's true are the reason why Exide got shut down, or the reason why the governor gave $176.6 million, right? Who are the reason why the governor just signed a bill from Assemblymember Cristina Garcia that guarantees a funding, a revenue stream for cleanup for our communities. It's a battery fee. Alright, so you know how you have your cans and it has like a CRV on it? For this, it's going to be a fee that's going to go into cleaning up our communities, right? So it's young folks making a difference. When we're doing outreach, we're not going to take you to go clean up the beach. Because when do you see people that live at the beach coming up here to clean up our communities? We're going to teach you how to fight for our communities. That's what you're going to learn how to do. You're going to learn how to be a leader. And a leader isn't, oh, we're going to point at that one person and that's our leader. No, a leader is every single person that gets down with us. That's what it is. And these folks, you know, call out Mayor Garcetti, call out the governor, go to Sacramento, and make things happen, you know. So it's definitely something that we're proud of, and that builds the next generation of our communities. That's a culture shift. When, you know, how many folks can say that they've like accomplished that sort of stuff before they took geometry, you know? Like that's big.
It's funny that you mentioned the beach, because it's like I didn't like grow up next to the beach. I grew up like next to the river, and we'd go like ride bikes, you know, in that big West Cement hole, you know. I mean, like that was like the beach, I guess, you know.
Yeah. And there's a history with that too. Our communities were excluded from beach, right? Historically, there was like a Mexican day at the pool, and it was the last day, and then the next day they clean the pool. It's like when the pool's the dirtiest, then let the Mexicans in, and then we'll clean it up, right? All of those things, I tell folks, like, where do you think the people who were growing up during that time, where are they at right now? A lot of them are decision makers. They grew up in that culture, thinking certain ways about our communities, and they're making decisions to this day. Our youth, we know that they're going to be living in these communities for the next 50, 60, 70 years, and we want them to be in that culture of creating justice in our communities. I do this work out of a very selfish desire. I want my babies to have a strong community around them. It's something that that my family helped build for me. And I grew up feeling like East Los is my community, that I have a responsibility to East Los, and East Los doesn't end on Indiana. East Los is, right, it's a region, it's a people, it's a culture and history. That's what we want to make sure to instill in folks, is to be like, we're not pushing you to go to college because we want you to get out. We're pushing you to get skills to bring back into our hoods, because your mom still lives right here. So this is your community, right? This is where we need to fight. If we lost all our funding or something, we're all still right here, and we all still have that passion.
If people watching want to get involved, like, what would be the quickest way for them to do it?
The quickest way is show up. You don't get involved by just signing something or liking something on Facebook.
Yeah.
Show up.
What if they love it on Facebook?
I mean, then you're down. So Thursday night, we're having a membership meeting in Commerce at our office, and you can look us up online to get the address for that. And then next week on Wednesday, we have a membership meeting in Long Beach. And then come to our events. Like, that's a good way to start to get hooked in. And don't be shy when you come, you know. Connect with somebody you don't know. Friend each other on Facebook. Do that, because then next time you see each other, you'll remember that. It's a solid connection that we make. So
there you go.
Yeah.
So on the video we tag Youth in Action, easier communities, easy.
EYCJ,
That's
a hard one.
I get it twice.
Yeah.
On Instagram,
it's at EYCJ on Instagram and Twitter, East Star Communities, or EYCEJ on Facebook. That's the best way to stay updated with what's going on.
Schools can get involved with you, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're stretched for capacity, so we're always down to connect with folks and help share information. We don't necessarily have the resources to like commit an organizer into a school. You know, we would love to do that if folks want to donate and help us do that. Like,
How can
really
people
help
donate?
You can go to our website and then click the donate tab, and it's eycej.org.
There you have, folks, a way to enact change and to make our communities better for generations to come. Easier communities for environmental justice. Hit them up, become involved, and thanks for tuning in.
Reclaiming the Alley River.
The Alley River this Saturday, and then the 15 on the 15 for $15 at Hamburger Mary's in Long Beach.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Lots of fun, right, Lopez?
Definitely.
Jessica Prieto, thanks. She was a surprise guest. Bad with names, even though my guests. But thanks for being here with us, man.
Cool.
Thanks for
Yeah,
sharing.
definitely.
Thank you for having me.
So thanks again, folks. We'll see you back in about 5 minutes.